Nature and scope of learning. This is the 23rd day of the 30-day challenge. So the 22nd day, the last video uploaded yesterday. It was the last video related to the unit of thinking and language. Just after uploading that video, I made a playlist of thinking and language. I combined all the videos of thinking and language into that playlist. You might be able to see a black pop-up on the upwards part of your screen right now, which will lead you to that playlist. And or else you might be able to see a pop-up in the end of the video as well about that playlist. Now let's get into a new unit, which is learning and memory. Now let's start with learning. Nature and scope of learning. Let's see the introduction first. The term learning has been defined by psychologists in many ways, but you need to have an acceptable definition, right? One acceptable definition. So the second point states that according to the most acceptable definition, it is a relatively permanent change in behavior resulting from experience. Barron, 2001. Now here you have to remember this line: relatively permanent change in behavior resulting from experience. Barron, 2001. The name and the year as well you have to remember. Now 3 points of this definition require clarification. First, as written in definition, relatively permanent change, it is important to mention here that any temporary change in behavior can be termed as learning, such as feeling sleepy. Now here it gives you examples. Until now you might be confused, but now here there are examples such as feeling sleepy after taking drugs or heavy meals, or feeling tired due to illness. Second, permanent change due to aging or maturation will not be considered as learning. Now, as the third point states, makes it clear that it is important to mention here that any temporary change in behavior can be termed as learning. So any temporary change in behavior can be termed as learning. And then it gives you the example of such as feeling sleepy after taking drugs or heavy meals, or feeling tired due to illness. Second, permanent change due to aging or maturation will not be considered. Now it makes it clear that aging and maturation, these things which are permanent change due to aging and maturation, because you can't go back in time, right? This will not be considered as learning. Third, here experience does not mean our experience only. Learning can also occur through vicarious learning, that is by others experiences. So learning can also occur not only by our experiences but by others experiences as well. So that word you see in the second point in the definition, relatively permanent change in behavior resulting from experience, doesn't mean that just your experience. It is your experience sometimes, or sometimes others experience as well. Now the question is why we learn. What is the use of process called learning? The reason is it helps us in adaptation and thus in survival. And that's true. Learning can be of many types. So as always, it is as always, like other topic, learning also has types. Now let's see the types. Motor learning, verbal learning, concept learning, discrimination learning. Now I didn't write things related to these four topics. I just give you the name. Now listen to me carefully. Motor learning. What is motor learning? Motor learning involves acquiring of new motor skill or functions as a result of practice or experience. This learning helps us in executing motor functions, for example, walking, running, skating, driving, climbing, etc. So it is saying that motor learning, this type of motor learning involves acquiring new motor skills such as, you know, walking, running, skating, driving, etc., etc. So this learning helps us in executing motor functions. So this type of learning of motor learning, this helps us in executing motor functions such as uh, you know running, walking, or skating, or all those physical things. Now verbal learning, it is now by name you might have thought about, so related to communication. So it is exactly what you thought about. It involves acquiring skills to communicate with others by using words, sounds, pictures, and etc. So that's all verbal learning means. Concept learning, the type of learn. Now this by name you might have thought something related to concept, right? Learning a concept or something. Now let's see the type of learning in which we learn to classify stimuli based on its characteristics and features. For example, our ability to identify a barking four-legged and a tail animal as a dog is the part of concept learning. We have learned that the word dog refers to this particular type of described animal. Now let's go through that again. The type of learning in which we learn to classify stimuli. So this line summarizes this topic. That what is concept learning? This is a type of learning in which we learn to classify stimuli based on its characteristics and features. So the learning in which we are able to classify a stimuli based on its characteristics and features is known as concept learning. And it gives you example of a dog. How do you know you call a four-legged barking creature with a tail a dog? So that's concept learning. The discrimination learning. Our ability to discriminate between stimuli and giving response accordingly is known as discrimination learning. So this is important. This is kind of a definition for this and also explains this topic. So what is discrimination learning? You have to remember this as well. I will read it again. What is discrimination learning? Our ability to discriminate between stimuli and giving response accordingly is known as discrimination learning. But now you might be confused. Now let's see an example to make it clear. For example, our ability to discriminate vehicles based on its horns. So that's the example. For example, you might have seen this or you might have experienced this. The trucks, the bigger trucks, they have different kind of horns than normal vehicles such as cars or bikes. Why? Just to alert people that a truck is coming. But that's not the part. But that's what I'm trying to say. Whenever you hear a horn of a truck, you know that it's a horn of a truck or a truck is behind you, even though if you can't see that truck. So that discrimination. So for example, the ability to discriminate vehicles based on its horns is also a part of discrimination learning. It's an example of discrimination learning. And that is it for this video. I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Tomorrow will be the 24th day, and you might be able to see a pop-up of playlist as well here. Wait, I'll give you some time to take screenshot. Okay, now you might be able to see a pop-up of a playlist. You might be able to see a playlist here. That is the playlist of thinking and language. You can go there and check it out as well, or you can go to the playlist section of my channel, and there's a playlist of perception as well. There are all videos related to perception I have uploaded on this channel. There are all of them in that particular playlist. And as always, I recommend you to subscribe to the channel and on the bell icon to stay notified and not miss the video I'll be uploading tomorrow. And also, if you love the video, like the video as well. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Until then, if you want to leave a like, you can leave a like.